Look closely. This is a disc of brass, no bigger than a dinner plate, and I promise you, it has seen more of the world than almost anyone alive today. Before compasses, before GPS, before anyone could just look at a screen and know exactly where they stood, people looked at me instead. I am a brass astrolabe. And I don't have just one story, I have three. Let me tell you all of them. Every ring and every notch on my surface does something. They track the stars, they mark the hours, and they can even point the way home. My first life began 900 years before you were born, in the city of Baghdad, in a house built entirely for learning. A craftsman named Hakim built me, ring by ring, out of hammered brass, and when he finished, I could finally do what I was made for. Hakim taught his apprentice everything: how to line up the stars on my rings, how to read the hour from their position, how to never get lost beneath an open sky. That night, on a rooftop above the city, the apprentice held me up to the North Star for the very first time, and read the hour exactly right. Years later, Hakim's family sold me to a travelling merchant, and just like that, my first life ended and a long journey began. For 200 years, I changed hands again and again, traded, gifted, carried across deserts and seas, until I finally arrived somewhere completely new. My second life began in Córdoba, in Islamic Spain, in a city so full of scholars that people came from 3 continents just to study there. A scholar named Layla used me to solve a very specific problem. In a city with no compass, how do you know exactly which direction to face for prayer? Layla measured the sun's angle, turned my rings exactly 41 degrees and pointed, and every single person in that courtyard trusted the direction I gave them. Generations passed, and eventually Layla's family sold me to a merchant heading for the coast, and my third life began on the open water. A navigator named Idris used me every single day at sea, measuring the height of the sun to know exactly how far north or south his ship had travelled. On calm nights, Idris trusted me completely, because out on open water, with no land in sight anywhere, I was the only thing that never lied to him. Then, one night, the sky turned black without warning, and a storm hit the ship harder than anything Idris had ever felt before. A wave slammed the deck, my ring slipped from Idris's grip, and just like that, I was gone, swallowed by the sea, sinking into the dark. I sank for what felt like forever, past the light, past the fish, past everything, until I finally settled onto the sandy floor of the sea, and everything went still. 300 years passed while I lay there in the dark. Long enough for coral to grow across my rings. Long enough for every person who ever held me to be gone. Then, one ordinary morning, a pearl diver's hand brushed against something hard beneath the sand, and pulled me back up into the sunlight after 3 centuries in the dark. These days, I don't measure any stars at all. I just sit very still behind glass, while curious hands like yours press against the case and wonder where I've been. I've measured the exact height of 1,000 stars, and I still remember the last one I ever saw before the storm took me under. 40 degrees above a horizon I couldn't see any more. That's the memory I've carried for 300 years.